I guess, maybe. Seems fine. I have my GABF hat on today, Rob. Isn't it nice? It's the first time I've worn it.
It is. I have not worn it. I haven't. We have a bunch of hats that I haven't worn from the GABF. We seem to sort of collect those.
Yeah, they stack up. We went to, I rode the Scooty to work today.
Yeah, I saw that.
And when I took off my helmet, I was like, oh my God, what happened to my hair? It's very different when the hair is so long. So yeah, all that's happening.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
Still two phones? Why do you still have two phones?
Because my parents, I'm forwarding their home number to my cell phone so that I can keep up with managing some of their affairs right now. Yeah. So there's that, and also I don't know, habit. So I activated. We had a phone number that we just wanted because it was a old number that we had, and I just kind of kept it parked, and so I activated it, and now I'm just doing the old star 72 forwarding from my parents' house because they're not in the home right now, so that I could track those calls. And
Sure.
I just love getting political ads and
Constantly.
calls from
Absolutely.
people who want my vote or my money or
Especially when you're
yeah.
a certain age. They love to have money.
They do. So yeah.
It's been complicated.
Let it be known that I am hearing from all sides of the election.
Oh, that's exciting.
Constantly.
It's wonderful.
Twice as much.
That's gross.
I know.
I do not, you know what? I don't get calls. I'll get texts.
Yeah.
Just, I guess, T-Mobile and Google are screening all that stuff out. I very rarely get anything.
Sure. Yeah. I go to fundraisers, so I give my number. It's part of the thing you have to fill out is your job title and a bunch of other things. It's mandatory if you're going to do any kind of donation to any of those fundraisers at all. Mm-hmm. So my number's on record. So I get those anyway, and I get them from both sides anyway. But yeah, I mean, my parents get a whole host of other things sent to me. I'm we were talking about a particular ad that you got because something was going on particular to me, but we share this IP address, and I'm just waiting for my Facebook ads to change violently and to another set of circumstances.
All of a sudden, all you get are like ads for campers.
Yeah. That would be great.
Why do I keep having like van life ads show up?
That would be great.
Oh, I did get all of a sudden yesterday, the hemp ads started showing up again. I mean, I don't do the social media much. I'm trying to more so that I can keep in touch with our breweries and the things that they have going on. So I have a goal of being on the social media is like half an hour a day, so I can just keep up with our members.
Right.
So I don't know why I said the hemp all of a sudden started appearing again.
Oh, probably because
I was on it for 3 days.
Because I'm working on that right now.
Yeah. I bought some.
Did you?
Yeah.
From Total Wine?
No, I bought some off the Facebook yesterday.
Oh, okay.
30 times 5 milligrams plus 50 milligrams of CBD for $10.
Yeah. So let me just rewind for context
sleeping.
here. Because about 2 weeks ago, we started to talk amongst our industry trade friends about things that we would potentially put into a consensus bill Yeah, I think we can say that we are advocating for a change to the minimum amount of beer that a brewery must make. I think it makes sense because it supports some of our rural breweries, and the conventional wisdom, you had to make a certain amount of beer to survive. It used to be 7 barrels, and then for a while it was 15 barrels. But there were people scratching it out with one barrel, 2 barrel, 3 barrels. Right. It's a lot of labor, but everyone's circumstance is different. Like if you outright own a building, then you could take that off your list. And if you already have an existing, say, restaurant or some other business, then you can take that off your list. And
if you're a large brewer and you want to have an innovation brewery at another one of your locations,
right,
and you don't plan on making 5,000 gallons at that place,
yeah,
you had no path to do that.
So we're advocating that. We can get into the specifics of that as the bill language moves through this process. But amongst that is we're going to pick up the hemp beverage bill. We're separating out that concept. There's a stakeholder that's running it. I don't want to identify them just yet. And we're meeting about that, and we're going through all the the specifics of what that looks like, both for serving and manufacturing. And the theory is, if not the members of the alcohol industry on the service and retail side, then who would it be otherwise? So I think the presumption is we have background checks, and we have insurance, and we have experienced, trained individuals, age gating, being able to manage some people drinking alcohol at a single table and others who are not legally able to do that.
Right.
So there's a history of that.
Sure.
There's a culture of that. So that's the theory. We think it has a reasonable chance of being discussed publicly as we move that bill, but that's what we're working on. So that you might have seen that. We've had a couple meetings about that, a meeting later on today to talk about that. And, one of the things that does is it uncovers the differences in the different methods of production of alcohol and why they have certain rules that are different, right? So we had Camila in here to talk. We thought we might get her on the show, but we had some other business items to take care of. And, she filled us in on the history of, why wineries have tasting rooms and they don't have the ability to get 6s and 7s or 12s as easily as we do. And, and also why they would not want to change, or why it's difficult once your business is in a certain model. It's difficult to understand how you might be better off under a different system.
And you have already stakeholders in the system who don't want it to change. Who
Right.
say, hey, we signed up with these rules. We don't want to change the rules.
Right.
One question.
Yep.
If is the hemp bill going in under the omnibus, under the liquor stakeholders consolidated bill?
I think in general, our group would prefer, if you're going to run some language or some bills, that you present it to the group. And if it has 100% consensus, or if there are issues that people disagree with, but there's a plan to work through those issues, then it sort of gets into the fold.
So we know that the hemp bill will face strong opposition from established dispensaries and cannabis growers. Maybe cannabis growers, definitely dispensaries.
Yeah, we presume that too, because they were not in favor of it last
So
time.
would attaching that to the liquor stakeholders bill be a bad thing?
It could.
And then potentially
I mean, anytime the more you add to that bill, the more likely you're going to uncover someone who doesn't like it.
yeah.
However,
We already know who doesn't like this.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of money.
However, I think the process is sound.
Sure.
You could put it in, you could take it out. Plenty of language has been put in the bill and then taken out. Literally, as it goes through the House, it has a problem in the Senate. They take some language out. it gets voted on the Senate, it goes back to the House, and so on and so forth. So it's not ideal, but I think the point of having all these different people weigh in is that you want to write the best language possible, and you don't want to. I mean, it sounds great if you just pass a law and it catches everyone off guard and like, oh my, but you're going to run into problems the next year or the year after. It's just better to have all of those things ironed out to the best you can. It's not to say we won't disagree, and not to say that some people might be wrong in opposing something or have a very specific self-interest. But yeah, the process is the best way. So, that's
And it lends credibility when the entire group agrees and says,
Yeah.
this seems like it is a reasonable
yeah.
fix for this poor situation we're in
With
right now.
any bill, you sometimes you want to put all the things together because it's I don't like this particular thing, but I like that a lot, and so I mean that's compromise. That is the definition of
Politics.
Politics is the next best, right? It's
Right.
the art of finding that thing that isn't the best, but it's the next best, meaning everyone else has a role in it. So it seems like a million years since we last talked, and it has because you went on a trip, and I just edited your podcast.
And the week before that, we
We're at Gabbeth, right?
No. Week before that was Camila was here and we talked about Anthony.
Yes.
So we haven't even talked about Gabbeth
Yes.
or the DLLC open house.
That's right. Or the Arizona Craft Beer Awards.
Really?
No, I don't think we did.
Oh man. Well,
and-
okay. So
Yeah.
last week on Wednesday and Thursday, I went down to Tucson and set up appointments with all the brewery owners and some retailers, and just had a great time learning a ton of stuff about what's going on in the Tucson market. I recorded the podcast with Hector, and that was just great to catch up with him. He and I have known each other forever.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't listen maybe that closely. Did you explain how you've known each other that
Probably not. We both worked for El Paso Barbecue,
long? Okay.
and he was a trainee for the Tucson location. So he trained in my restaurant, and then they started opening Tucson. He went down there, and Bonnie was the corporate trainer, so she put everything together
Okay.
and worked down there for 6 weeks. And so they worked very close. So yeah,
Okay.
That's
That's
how-
in Oro Valley, and I keep wanting to just fold
the
them
Hoppy
into.
Vine is in Oro Valley.
I
Yes.
keep wanting to fold them into Marana, but that's not cool.
No, they're on the other side.
Yeah, they're completely different. Too.
Completely different. Far, far, far away.
Yeah, yeah, but I used to tell people like Tucson is Tucson. There's really not the suburbs in it, but Marana definitely is now a suburb. Oro Valley is a suburb.
I think Marana, when you go to Oro Valley, there's more space between Tucson and where Oro Valley starts. There's more of a differentiation.
Yeah.
Think in
Like the Cave Creek of
Scottsdale. I think Marana is more like Mesa Tempe. Like you just move across a line and now you're there.
Is it-
Except Marana goes so far. Oh my God.
is it
place
Marana
huge.
or Marana?
Yeah.
Is it Nevada?
I don't know.
Nevada?
I don't live in either of
Nevada.
those places. It's really up to them to decide what they want it to be. I have no ownership in that name. So I am
Marana.
Bauman,
It's like-
not Bowman, though.
Marana Banana. That's what.
Marana Banana?
Yeah,
Great.
that's
The
what I-
Savannah Bananas are in Marana. I love it.
So you
Yeah, so I went down there. and
Suffice it to say, there's some changes going on there.
There's
Some of
some
them that we're
changes,
waiting
yeah.
to see how it unfolds. But
we have some very exciting things coming up that I can't really talk about right now, but in the next few weeks, they will be more evident. And we've got some breweries that are expanding. We've got some breweries, 1912, I think there's no need to not talk about that because Alan put that on their Facebook page, is that they are looking to sell their brewery and I think no longer producing, selling what they have in stock, and then they're going to close their tap room, I
Yeah.
believe.
yeah,
I tried getting together with him, but he's so busy that he just couldn't.
right.
Mike at Harbottle said they are cruising along pretty well. They've got some nice new strategic partnerships going on with some cities and towns south of. So I know Saurita,
Sahaurita?
Sauripa. I don't know. Anyways, they have that. They have some connections in Sonoyta where they're doing civic events and things like that. That seems to be very helpful. And they missed their neighbor, Copper Mine, who closed earlier this month or September. Slow Body, got to have a nice long talk with LJ, and yeah,
I have yet to have a beer there. I'm gonna have to make.
It's so good. I have them in my fridge to bring in, but I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
For you.
Oh,
they're in a bag in a special.
I still have beers from when we were. We haven't even talked about Oktoberfest in Wickenburg.
Oh my God. Yeah, we did. Maybe not.
I don't know. We have long talked about New Belgium's Juice Force or whatever, and I bought a bunch of them. They're sitting in my refrigerator. I'm like, we should just roll those out for our podcast one day, because like I hadn't had one, and the whole reason was a friend of mine had one, and they were selling it by the pint. I'm like, that's a 10% beer, and it tastes like fruit punch,
right?
So I wanted to get your take on it, but we'll
someday.
Yeah, it's not going to go bad.
That was a GABF thing we haven't talked about yet.
Oh yeah. Holy cow!
It's all disappearing from my brain. Anyways, this is why we don't have a history of beer in Arizona, because you go 2 weeks and all of a sudden there's so much more going on that you can't even get back to there. Well, speaking of more going on, we had the Arizona Craft Beer Awards Festival.
Yes, we did.
That was great.
Did we even talk about the awards themselves? In the past, I looked. We've done we've released the actual awards as a show, and we recapped it. But I don't think we need to do that. I think that was important the first couple of years. But once again, it seems to be the thing that everyone in our industry wants to be at, because again, this time everyone was there 45 minutes before we were officially open.
Yeah. We were supposed to start at 6, and we had people showing up at 5:15.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then the show didn't start till 7.
Yeah.
Like we had an hour happy hour ahead of the event, but that wasn't enough because people just want to be there.
Right.
It's so cool.
Yeah. But anyway, we didn't talk about this, and I have to run this down. We're kind of waiting on Pedal House to open in downtown Mesa, but we introduced the concept of Mesa Metals on Main, in that when this happens, 2 of the breweries that have won Brewery of the Year, i.e. by winning the most medals, are going to be on that quarter-mile strip of Main Street in Mesa. And there are, I would say, 5 or 6 beers that have gone on to National or World Beer Cup awards. And they're available. There's also several winners of our awards, of course. Probably the most concentration of those awards.
Barrio has a location in Mesa.
But not on that.
Not on Main Street,
right.
but
yeah.
all 3 of them are in Mesa.
Barrio won Brewery of the Year this year. And the point I wanted to make about all those medals is almost all of them are available most of the time.
Right. They're not just one-off ridiculous beers.
Right. And, one of the ones that won gold this year and factored in Oro's win a couple years ago was King Gus. And they are struggling to keep that thing in stock. I know there's a place that I go to that literally they just put 1 can out every once in a while on in their cooler shelf, for on-site consumption. So it's so. And Armando, who owns Tacos, what is it?
Tacos Chivas?
Yeah, Tacos Chivas is going to open a burger place between BRI and the distillery. The distillery's down there. Cidercore's down there. They're planning.
Phantom Fox.
Yeah, who won their first medal in their first competition. They were very excited.
Yeah.
Chupacabra, obviously. There's just a whole host of things going on down there. And
right. Arizona Distilling
Yeah.
consolidated their locations from Tempe and Mesa to just be downtown Mesa.
Yeah, and that's been in the works, according to John, for quite a while.
Right.
And they don't own the Tempe space, and they tried to negotiate that, and I get that. And he also told me they have some other plans for other parts of the state to open a place up. So
Great.
it's not necessarily a step back. And I was there, and then I noticed our member 100 Mile offers a Tempe handshake shot, any beer with their Copper State bourbon. So I never saw that featured
Right.
that way. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, what a rambling mess we've had here.
It's been a long time since we've been on the mics.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get another one recorded this weekend too,
Oh, yeah?
or tomorrow.
Oh yeah, because you're headed elsewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm heading up north, so I have a wrap-up meeting in Wickenburg, and then I've got appointments in Prescott and in Cottonwood, Clarkdale, Camp Verde, Sedona.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to get over to Pine. Unfortunately, that brewing is closed on Wednesday and Thursday. I wanted to get over to Pine Top and Sholo, but that's just not
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. Not in this trip. I'll have to get out there on a different trip.
Yeah. And I've had some of circumstance in my life with my family that keeps me here for a little bit longer than I thought. But yeah, we got to go down to Bisbee, or I need to go down to Bisbee and explain where we are with some stuff.
We have that trip November 22nd to the 24th.
Yeah. And I intend to
Probably.
keep that.
Me too. I intend to keep that too.
I just,
Bonnie asked for the days off, so if we don't go, I'm a dead man.
Okay. Well, maybe just Brenda, you and Bonnie. Go, I don't know.
Maybe just the girls can go.
Maybe. Here's some talking points.
Yes. Can you be our liaisons? I know we don't pay you when we make you work for us all the time, but here's one more time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've got plans. I have had to cancel a couple plans. I missed my 40th high school reunion.
Yeah. But you did go to the Arizona Craft Beer Awards that day.
I did, yeah. We were talking about that. So what do you think? It was in Tempe.
It's a cool festival.
Yeah, it was a nice day.
Beautiful day.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. People seem to have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was enough attendance to make everyone happy who pays the bills. It's not our responsibility for that, but
Right.
but
It was looking good.
yeah.
Everyone was having a good time. People were pretty chill. Of course, it's a first-time event in a new venue. There's obviously things that can get adjusted and tweaked, but I think they were pretty happy with that venue.
Yeah. It's all about the weather, man. I'm going to tell you, this is so much nicer, but the parking is difficult. I'm like, well, there was better parking at the other place. And they're like, what? Like, oh yeah, it was too hot.
Remember the oceans of parking that was around us? Like,
it was too hot. I'm like, it really has nothing to do with the location.
Right.
No. Hey, 70, 80 degree weather makes everybody happy.
It's true.
Sunshine, plenty of shade. I know there were some hiccups in terms of like, hey, here's the plan, and all of a sudden, a skiff was thrown in the middle of it, and some of the fencing just looked kind of octopus-like in some areas, like this runner of fence down one area that wasn't utilized very much. But that's just what happens.
Yeah.
First time you use it until you see it in real life, it can only get better.
Yeah.
It was good to see a much bigger variety of breweries this year, as opposed to the years past.
That's true. I think they had 15 more breweries this year than last year. And we also just saw so many people that we haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the industry went to that event. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Whether they were working or not, they were just there.
Yeah. Good to see a lot of the judges show up too, because I don't think they showed up last time. Probably because
Not
it was
in
hot.
the same way. It was hot and it was far from most of their homes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I work in the state, man. Got to drive wherever the stuff is, but
That's us. That's
Yeah.
not everyone.
no.
Yeah, we had that.
So we do need to talk briefly about the changes at the Great American Beer Festival.
Sure.
And I think largely I agree that they were successful in bringing more excitement and more people to the event. And there was more enthusiasm, I think, from some of the suppliers, the breweries. I think everyone's happy to be there. I saw people like I didn't expect to see Stan Hieronymus. Stan is a beer writer. He's involved. A lot of us at a certain era that went through reading about beer as homebrewers know Stan.
And Stan knows hops.
And yeah, Stan wrote the book on hops, and he's moved around the country supporting his daughter as she went through college and in her career. But now he's in Colorado now, outside of Denver. He took the train in. Always good to see people like Chris Black, and he actually talked a lot about. And if you read some of his comments about GABF, he was involved in the event in support of and being a resource and being part of the community that helps make that. And he had some mixed feelings about it. He did say that it accomplished what they wanted to, but he had an interesting point. And I will say, yes, all these things happen, and hopefully that means more money for the organization and things they can work on. They seem to be very conscious of the space. They wanted to make sure it felt intimate if it wasn't as attended as well. But I think the attendance numbers were pretty good on Friday and Saturday. They got rid of the Saturday afternoon event, which is ideal because it's
great.
It's a long time to be working.
Getting up to be at the awards ceremony at 10 a.m. and then working until 9:30 in a booth is really hard. So it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It started at 12:30 and then went till 5.
Yeah. His point, and I hadn't considered this. You know, we often talk about how breweries have changed the flavor profile of what people consider beer and also beverages.
Food.
Yeah, very, very much so. But he said, you know, what people forget is beer is one of the last acquired tastes. You don't automatically fall in love with beer the first time you have it. And so it takes repetition and it takes understanding of styles. And what has happened is we have put flavors into beers, and now the larger entities thought, oh, we can invest or we can buy craft breweries and this will be our move forward. But it's really about following all the trends in flavor. Like talk about potato chips. We talk about all the beverages that are kind of related to, here's that juice box you got when you were 5.
Right.
And so he's like, so we still have a beverage that is an acquired taste. So there might be some excitement, but how are we going to educate these people? And he's right, because half that place was in the dark. They wanted
Literally, the lights were very low.
Yeah, and they wanted to do glow-in-the-dark things and special lighting. And one was a spooky Halloween theme.
I think that was sponsored by a local haunted house.
Yeah, and then the other part was space blast off, and I
Sure was.
but it was hard to read some of the signs, but
Yeah.
it was people hung out. They treated it like less of a festival and more like a place that they go to, like to hang out.
So in the past, GABF had rows and rows and rows of booths.
Right.
This year there were pods. So there was the Halloween, there's Blast Off, there was Prost, which is all German beer
Right.
focused.
Sports bar.
Sports bar and Chill, which was like the backyard where they
Yeah.
had the band and they had games and
Right.
then there was the homebrew area.
Yep.
There was actually like a craft section.
Yeah. The homebrew area needs some work.
Homebrew area could have used a little bit of attention. They had collab beers.
Yeah.
They had past medal winners.
Yeah, those two things they've done in the past.
Sure.
They've had Meet the Brewer as well. That was part of it.
Yep. That's the only part that was more like just rows. The
Right.
Meet the Brewer, rows of booths
Right.
for you to look
So
at.
we do some of these concepts in our festivals, especially the larger ones. And we can do any and all of those. But what the execution part requires probably someone to take ownership of it. And sometimes that's through a sponsorship, or sometimes that's just interested people. Because we've had Meet the Brewer things and they're not always well attended. But to me, it's like you value the people you get and you do what you do. You are there to inform, inspire, educate. So like it would be nice if 100 people were there, but if there's 12, then you still got to do the job.
Right.
It's still effective. So it needs ownership and it needs physical people. And so
Sure.
it's no one can say, hey, Andrew, we should do a judging, be the judge experience where everyone gets to try these
Sit
things.
down,
and
you have 4, and they have to write down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that sounds awesome,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
It's tables.
Yeah.
It's paper.
Yeah.
It's
Pouring the beers.
It's someone who has a cognizance of making that a welcoming space and being there.
educating the people that are there.
It's beer stewards.
all
So
that
it's like
stuff, yeah.
I'm in my head, for a 20 by 20 table with people coming and going, 12 at a crack, 4, 5, 6 times during the festival. I mean, you're talking about having at least a dozen people involved in that all they do is
all
focus
day.
on-
That's what they're doing.
So we can do all that.
I mean, I don't know if it would be smart to have that for the last hour. Like maybe not all day. Then
But
those
you don't know
people
what I'm
could
saying.
leave and
Well, I don't know how long the
fest.
program is. Maybe it's just 3 beers, and so I'm just spitballing here. But it does require dedication to it.
And when we want more interaction with customers, other than hey, here's a beer, drink
Right.
it.
It's people.
That's Interaction doesn't come from a tent or a sign. It comes
Right.
from human beings.
Right. So, and I know in the early days of the festival, it was more of a barn raising kind of volunteer thing. But,
Definitely.
as we as professional staff get better at things, we take over more of that thing of that stuff. But and I know we talk about this all the time. If you want to do this, great. If you're relying on us or the board or whatever, it's going to look a lot like that small group of people presenting that.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more effective when we get people, on board. We did have that discussion at Baja about, hey, we should probably extend this experience for our members, our breweries, to another day and the day after. And like, we've done that in the past. Thank you for bringing that up, because we'd like to do it again too, but we need your help.
Mm-hmm.
We can say, oh yeah, these things are going to happen, but unless they participate, I don't know. You hold the keys to all these things now.
Right.
I'm just telling you what I know. Have you had anyone reach out from the general public to say, hey, I'm interested in, I know we get people
Getting
who want to
involved.
volunteer,
Yeah. No.
but yeah, I thought about it. I think the times I thought about it were early when I was the director, and I think a lot of breweries like, no, this is our thing. We need to control it. We need to manage it. I don't know. I mean, we clearly need the public's support.
Right.
Something to think about.
Yeah. So we have our Black Friday ticket sales. We're selling tickets at Arizona Fall Fest. We're selling tickets at AZB3. After that, they're going to go on sale on the internet. And we have Arizona Pint Day coming up. That's new and exciting. But all of these things take a lot of energy, effort, and time. There it is. I just there's me. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you haven't assigned me any of that stuff. I'm here to do what I can. But my birthday is on Thanksgiving. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
oh, fun. Fun.
Yeah, so I won't be working on Thanksgiving.
Good, me too. I won't be working on the day after Thanksgiving either because I'll be up in Flagstaff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I just have to get all the Black Friday stuff out early, tell them exactly how it's done, and then answer phone calls.
Right on. All right.
It's going to be great.
I saw you at Ash Oktoberfest.
Ah, it was so great.
Yeah, it was good
What
to
did you
see some
think?
folks.
Yeah.
It's,
Remember when it
it's-
was like 300 people?
Yeah, it's much.
God,
it's
that
much-
was wild.
It's much smaller, but it was good to see a lot of folks there. The food is always excellent. Beers are good.
And yeah, the food was incredible. And it was good to see some new faces I haven't seen before.
Oh, I know. There's people racking medals up. I'm like, who's this guy? You
Yeah.
know, like, but I went through my refrigerator and pulled a few things out. One of them was the last lactose, or the last whey
Oh,
dairy-based
yeah.
beer. I was like, it's just going to sit in my refrigerator. It's not getting any.
Let's share it with people.
Well, because I wanted them to, because if there is going to be a project, it's going to involve.
Norway.
Yeah, so they're out of business.
Oh,
They're out of business. Website's down and everything's.
Damn it.
Yeah, so I don't know where to source it, but I'm like, I got to get this in front of some people before. There were a lot of interesting takes on it. They were surprised that it tasted good to them. And there are people who are experienced with cheese, as you would expect as homebrewers, and they were like, so it got some people excited, and that was the point of it,
right.
is to do that. So I'm going to be on the internet looking for that yeast and also
Norway.
some other producer of dairy-based products. But I explained to them, like, this doesn't have a status.
Hard milk.
And it's and it's like, it was also my gateway to talk about hemp beverages,
Legislation, yeah.
stuff like that.
It's not based on grains and it's not based on sugar. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah,
it's not distilled.
no. Well, you can distill it.
But it's not.
Yeah.
So how would that be categorized? The same as hemp? An agricultural product?
Well, they'd have to explicitly list it in the agricultural products.
Wow.
Which would be a very easy law change if they wanted to. But we don't write, although we did write a law to support and legalize powdered alcohol, a product that I still don't believe actually exists. It was just in concept. I still have not seen it. Have you seen it? It was specifically
No.
made. Yeah, no. So
No, that was a joke.
yeah, but it was pushed by the governor at the time. So
Yeah.
it's interesting though, because everyone was like, "Wow, in the bar situation, someone's going to adulterate their drinks," which is a fear. But
They're
I'm
going
like,
to pour some extra alcohol into their alcohol.
in the meantime, we're talking about hemp because people are adulterating their experience sitting in your
Yeah.
tap room by potentially
Weed pens and gummies and whatever they want.
Right. Things that they did 30 minutes before they got there that
Sure.
take effect. So, yeah.
It's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild. All right. Well, break time?
Break time or buy time?
I think it's buy time.
Yeah.
All right.
We have a lot of loose ends to
We do.
run down, and
Yeah. Before my little trip tomorrow, before a whole bunch
I'm
of
so
stuff.
jealous on both your trips. I wanted to join you, but I know it's important for you to get done and not wait for me to be there. And also, I guess the point is we don't have to be everywhere together anymore.
Yeah. There you go. All right. We will be together in departing this podcast, though, because it's time to go. So thank you for listening, and make sure and smash that like button.
Oh, we're changing that too now?
Do the subscribe
Yeah.
and turn on the little bell for notifications when our next episode comes out.
Yeah. What do you do on TikTok?
I don't know what we're doing.
We don't have TikTok.
No.
All right.
Okay. Sometimes the beer finds you, and sometimes the whey-based alcohol beverage finds you.
This is not a whey-based alcohol podcast.
It's
This is a podcast about
whey-based alcohol. Okay, bye.